There's a fire in the desert. There's a flood within my soul. There's a pain that never left me all alone.
Come with us as we traverse the desert in search of the largest collection of ancient ruins in the United States. There are 8,300 documented sites and 30,000 that have not been documented throughout the Canyon of the Ancients in the Four Corners region.
This is the entrance of the visitor center. It's $7 for adults, children are free.
We began our journey at the visitor center just outside of Dolores, Colorado. I'm so glad that we made the visitor center our first stop because it helps set the scene for visiting the ruins. Once you see the crops that were grown, tools used, and clothing the people wore, you're able to get a sense of what life was like when the sites were inhabited.
It's the macaw feather cloak. This is neat. They found some of those seeds and the remains of what was growing out there. These are gar scales, and they said gar are not local here, so they had to have been traded. Kind of similar to the macaw feathers.
It makes the desert come alive when you know what people were eating, the artistry of the pottery they made, and it sparks the mystery in your imagination, wondering why they decided to leave such an established, large settlement. The visitor center will also outfit you with a detailed map that we used throughout our entire road trip. We basically made a loop coming from Durango. We started at the visitor center and traveled up to the Lowry Pueblo, then south to the Painted Hand Pueblo, Hovenweep, then finishing the day traveling back east to Sand Canyon. This video is part 2 of 3. Hovenweep and Sand Canyon get their own videos, so be sure to check those out. After the visitor center, we traveled northwest to the Lowry Pueblo through beautiful agricultural land nestled in the desert southwest.
All right, we've made it to the Lowry Pueblo. It is a relatively short drive from the visitor center. It's very well marked too. So as you're going down the highway, there are signs everywhere you need to turn well in advance, so you're not going to get lost along the way. This is very similar to Chimney Rock. Check out our video on Chimney Rock. This is a much bigger site. And so this was all part of the ancient Puebloans and kind of this entire huge, civilization. Okay, and so they've covered it up here to help protect it a little bit. I mean, this is a pretty significant preservation effort. You kind of can imagine, the squash and the corn and the different things, the animals, the turkeys, the dogs, how life would have been like and what, would have been walking around the little, think about your little turkeys kind of instead of chickens. Oh.
This is where they keep the prisoners.
I don't think this is for prisoners. I think they just don't want us going in there because people would mess it up and cause it to fall apart. And then this way you can still see it without it getting messed up. It is so cool down in here that if it was 100 degrees outside, you would be comfortable down in here.
It's a little low.
It wasn't built for people who are tall. So it says to stay off the walls, but you can walk in between here and see everything. And so you can see the outline of the rooms, and then you can see under here what it was like, kind of the size and the scope of the rooms. And that's what's so interesting, is to get a sense of scale of just like, it says it had 34 rooms, and how big each one of those 34 rooms is kind of fascinating. From the Pueblo, then you walk over to the Kiva. Ready, Sam?
See how its legs are red?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They're very red. Cool. All right, let him go since he's rare. Oh, wow, this is a big Kiva. Oh, there's one of those lizards running. Oh. This is the great Kiva that was used for community activities, and including ceremonies. they're assuming was probably before Chaco. That's kind of interesting. Well, keep your eyes peeled. There's the coolest lizards out here. They're the ones that have the blue stomachs. Like turquoisey green, blue. What?
Look, on the post.
Oh, there's a lizard on the post. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, baby.
We're gonna call him Lizard on the Post.
Yep, he's chilling. The Great Kiva helped to define the community and to develop a sense of social identity and perhaps of organized community religion. People who live near Great Kivas may have organized seasonal events and maintained the Great Kivas for regional use. So now that we've explored the Lowry Pueblo, we are going to go to the Painted Hand Pueblo. We pulled over here on the side of the highway going from the Lowry Pueblo to the hand-painted Pueblo because the Hovenweep Canyon runs through here, and it is incredible. I cannot even stress the highway here and seeing that canyon, how cool it is. It just is like scrubby desert southwest goodness. The landscape here is absolutely incredible so far. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. So this site has a little bit more of a hiking area, and so plan your trip accordingly. We are wanting to do the Sand Canyon hike, so we're trying to decide if we want to do this 3/4 mile loop or if we want to just keep moving through the day so that we don't feel rushed whenever we get to the other longer hike that we're planning on doing. So right there is the cultural site. The rock formations are so neat. There are just like these huge boulders that almost look like they're melting into the ground.
Look, so you can see a trail that's down there. And if you look over there, you can see a little tower.
What a crazy place to choose to live.
It's like a guard tower or something for like this whole area.
Like maybe a
Like they
wash.
almost expected people to come from this way.
This view is so expansive that it just really gives, you know, a sense of what the people would see, and you wonder how far they actually traveled to explore this landscape, just like as an individual trying to raise kids and, you know, live a life, what it was actually like what you're, you know, did you stay here all winter? Did you stay here in the summer? What was it like? You have to wonder how many ancient children played in these rock formations. And what we're hoping to spot are some petroglyphs, some drawings. Maybe some kids drew some pictures for us to find in here. What? What?
You go down that now. Whatever that was Arrowhead.
I mean, looking at these rocks, you see how they could probably carve them. Look at this rock. See how there's a perfect curve? If it's a fossil of some kind or if this was something that was carved.
We decided not to hike to the Pueblo because we could see it from the Overlook. We thought it was best to keep moving. I'm glad that we didn't hike in because we decided to add a stop to our trip that required a hike to get to the Pueblos. However, we did grab some drone footage to get an up-close look at the site.
So these are the outliers that you'll find along the way. They are kind of marked, so you do need to pay attention to these.
Honestly, we found the landscape on the road trip made this journey so much fun and so compelling.
So we decided randomly to see if Google Maps has where to go, and it actually does have the two ruins marked on Google Maps. I got 5G plus out here. Look at the ants on the flower. We have made it to one of the little side treks that you really need to keep an eye out so you don't fly past the turnoff. So this is the side quest of Horseshoe and Hackberry, and then there is Holly.
So the tower's here. We can see that really quick. Then the Horseshoe House and the Hackberry Pueblo.
Where do we find this?
All right.
That's the Horseshoe House at 0.3 miles. Not very far.
Woohoo! Oh my goodness. So even if you have people in your group who are not like super into the historical or archaeological aspects of it, it is so cool. The landscape is amazing. The road trip itself is just completely epic. And then you also have a hike. So, I mean, you're getting out, like, yeah, you're in the car, but you're getting out and you're walking around. And, you know, it's just kind of got a little bit of everything. All right, so we are officially in the Hovenweep National Monument, and it is amazing. It's kind of one of those places where you don't know where to look because everywhere you look is amazing. Sam spotted something. Woohoo! Okay, so a short walk in, and it leads you to the rim of this canyon, and then you can see the cultural site right there. So they've got it roped off. We've got as close as we can get to this monument. And so if you look across the canyon, you can see another Kiva or Pueblo over there. It's so pretty, and I just can't imagine what it was like for people back then living here. And I just wonder, was there more water whenever these civilizations were building these structures? It looks like there was. So comment and tell me what you think. I mean, it looks like water ran through here. And so did they have water in those ancient times? And was this canyon that you can see just beyond here, was this a river that just constantly flowed with water so that they could, you know, sustain life here? Because right now it is just so barren and so dry. It's kind of hard to imagine, you know, living here and thriving. It's so cool to see Sam here, because then you wonder what would what it would have been like for the children in the ancient times, living in this canyon and playing in such a treacherous, you know, landscape.
Let's solve this.
I like how they've marked the trail. So now we're at Hackberry, where you can see wall that kind of just lines the rim of this canyon here, and there's just little markers or little ruins every so far, and it's just so fun. Every rock that you see on the ground, imagining, is that an arrowhead, is that a tool, is that a knife, is that, you know, a piece of pottery? It's just fun. Like this, was it something? I don't know. Probably not. So the view, the Huckleberry view, is definitely the way to go, because you can see the entire rim of the canyon, and then you can see the ruins directly. You know, you get a perfect view. It's almost, you could say, the poor man's Grand Canyon, because it's pretty spectacular. So look how there's a wall on this boulder here. Why? It's so bizarre. Hi, lizard. We love you. The famous collared lizards out here that are just so pretty.
All right, it's time to move on from the Outliers and on to Hovenweep. After Hovenweep, we journeyed to Sand Canyon to finish out this epic road trip. Hovenweep and Sand Canyon have their own dedicated videos, so be sure to subscribe so you can come along with us through the Canyon of the Ancients. Thanks for watching.